What is up, everyone? It is Jarvis J, and today I'm going to help you set up a custom conversion campaign with Facebook. You are very welcome in advance, especially to those of you who stick around to the end of this video. Now, what in the world is a custom conversion campaign? Well, unlike your lead campaigns and video views and traffic and engagement, a custom conversion campaign by itself simply has no goals, it has no future, and it is pretty pathetic, kind of like my subscriber numbers right now. So if you could just hook me up with a like, maybe a subscribe, and hit that little stupid bell, my numbers may not look so trash. So, custom conversion campaigns only act based off of what information you give it. Okay, so first step is to establish a goal. That goal may be to have Facebook to send as many people as possible to a thank you page, to an order form, to a button, to a scheduling page, whatever that may be. In order for Facebook to understand what your goals are, you have to set up events, okay? In order to set up events, you need to install something called a pixel. What is a pixel? Is simply a little piece of code that tracks activity throughout your funnel, your website, or whatever. And then from there, what you have to do is deem what events are pertinent or important, or AKA goals. All right, so our campaign objective is going to be conversions. But before we set up conversions, we have a few steps that we need to do first. So let's cancel out of here and head over here to Business Tools. All of this has been done within inside of Facebook Business Manager. If you do not have a Business Manager account set up, I highly suggest that you do that. Let's go back over to Business Tools and Events Manager. If you have never set up a Facebook pixel before, your dashboard would look something like this. It's blank, there's no activity going on. So what you would do is click on either create new pixel or continue pixel setup, and then these two options would pop up. You can use a partner integration. This means that Facebook has partnered with different platforms and they try to streamline the integration of a pixel code. Let's take a look at it. So these are all the platforms that Facebook partners with and allows you to kind of streamline the process. Since I am more old school, I guess, I do not trust it. Maybe I have trust issues, who knows? But I still prefer this option. This still works, but I like to manually add the pixel code to website. Install code manually. In this case, you would just click this copy code. What you're copying is this little script that basically tracks activity on whatever software you want. Copy code. Now, I like to use ClickFunnels to build out my funnels. It's one of the best in my opinion, but they have other funnel builders that are pretty similar. Let's look at installing this code manually with ClickFunnels. What I would do is go over to settings, head over here to head tracking code, install the code. As you can see, I already have a code installed, so there's no reason for me to do it twice, right? It tracks activity on all of your funnel steps. So you can have 2 steps or you can have 10 or 20 steps. You install it once for that particular funnel and you are good. Make sure you go down here and save and update. If you have WordPress has plugins that you can use. I highly suggest you look at these reviews, the amount of active installations, and how frequently they update them to judge if that plugin is worth your time or not. Even in appointment setting software such as Calendly, they offer integration with the Facebook Pixel. In this case, you will simply enter your Facebook Pixel ID. While we're on this topic, let's look at that. So your Facebook Pixel ID is this 15-digit number right here. We'll just copy that and install that on certain platforms. Whatever you want to track activity on, this is what you're putting this code on. But don't go crazy with it and start tracking things that aren't necessary or ultimately will not make you money. So don't just have a whole bunch of data, end up confusing yourself. Just put it on pertinent things. Once we have our Pixel installed, it will start to collect data and look like this once it's active. Another cool little tool that you can use is something called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It lets you know when your pixels are firing and they're active. So it's a great indicator to let you know if there's something going on with your pixel, whether it's good or bad. What you would do to install this, type in Facebook Pixel Helper, go over here to Google and install it. It's quite that simple. Now we have everything that we want to track. Everything is firing. What is next? Next is to go over here. And here's a little side note. If you ever need that Facebook Pixel code again, go to from a new website. Click on that, install code, you can copy it or use the partner route. Now let's go back to add events. Click on from the Pixel, and we're going to use something called the Event Setup Tool. Open Event Setup Tool. The website URL that you are going to put in here is for your conversion. Which page are you trying to convert on? And on that page, you can track different activities such as buttons or payment. I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. If I go back to my ClickFunnels, what I'm looking to optimize for is the thank you page. That is profitable to me. That is a lead. It could be all kind of things. Okay. In this instant, I'm going to click on the URL. And let's say I want to track this button. This button means something to me. By the way, guys, this is a demo page. This is not a running page, okay? So I want to track this button right here. What I would do is grab this URL, go back to setup events, enter that URL, and voila, you see this little event setup tool. Now there may be multiple things on this page I want to track. For instance, this is my Calendly page, and it's already hooked up with the Pixel. And as you could tell, you see these different numbers. That means it's identifying different things going on with this page. But I want to track something else. I have a button and I want to create a custom event for this button. So I want this thing to track this button. You can see it highlighted. Okay, click on it. Now you have to tell Facebook, what is this button? It doesn't know. You have to tell it. For demonstration purposes, I'm gonna say that this is a schedule button. These are called standard events. And it's standard because Facebook already pre-populated and just trying to get a good feel of what this button means to you. So I click there, confirm, and you will go to finish setup. Go to finish. Sure, why not? Submit. And done. So now we set up our events tool. Now we know what we are looking for. Facebook knows what we are looking for. The Pixel's tracking everything. So now we just have to set up custom conversions. It's not too bad. All right, let's go. Now that it sent me back to the event manager, and there it is, it's active already. Sometimes if it doesn't show up, all you have to do is hit this reset button. This event manager will somewhat help you organize to see what's going on. Okay, so I have a few custom events, and that's my ClickFunnels. And this would be the Calendly. And if I go over to the standard events, that is the schedule button that I set up. So the good thing, everything is firing and everything looks great. Next step would be to set up or create custom conversions. And that's how we're going to pull off the whole conversion campaign magic. So what do I want to optimize for? Is it the thank you page? Is it the button? You have to get specific. So I want people to click that little button. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Schedule button. Set. You can set up as many conversion campaigns as you want. You could do a thank you page, which will ultimately lead people to that page with your button on it. But the thank you page is the main objective. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Make sure you're on the data source, your pixel is correct. If you work with many pixels, sometimes weird things happen and you're working on a different pixel, okay? So for a conversion event, I'm going to go down to standard event. I identified the button. I want Facebook to take as many people as it can there to press it. So schedule. And if I want to be a little more specific or create a rule, you don't have to do this. They must end up on that thank you page. So let's hit create. And there you go, custom conversion created. Where do you find this at separately? Simply go over to this little star that says custom conversions. And there you go. You'll be able to input this into your conversion campaign whenever you get ready to create it. One more thing that I do want to talk about is custom audiences. And the reason I like to talk about it is because it makes no sense not to set it up beforehand, even if this is a brand new campaign. So as you can see, I have already set up a custom audience. I have a thank you page. So it's going to send everybody who goes here, it's going to identify and separate these people into these different audiences automatically. So anybody who visited the thank you page, they're put in this category. Anybody who interacted with the event page, they get put in this category. Maybe they scheduled a day, but they did not schedule a time. I can eventually set up a retargeting ad over time once this audience starts to fill up, okay? As more and more traffic starts to build up on this page, Facebook will collect them and drop them into these little groups. And if they set up a time and stop right there, I can set up a cool little retargeting ad that says,
"Hey, you didn't want to finish this whole thing? What's wrong with you?"
So let's create an audience really quick. Custom audience. Let's go to website visit. So you have all website visitors, people who visited specific pages. This could be the thank you page. Visitors by time spent, okay? Once again, make sure your pixel is the correct one. Now you'll see other things start to pop up. So this could be a schedule page. So anybody who's scheduled, I can create a separate audience for them, and then I can create a lookalike audience later on. So it's very powerful. Understand it. You can exclude people if they bought from you. If you already scheduled something, put exclude people who visited this page or confirmation page or order page, and that's how that works. Now, the fun part is going and creating these ads. So let's go to Ads Manager, and we're not really going to build out a full campaign. Most people understand this step. I can do a video on this later in the future. Okay, so let's create. And once again, we're looking for conversions. There you go, and continue. New campaign. Let's just new fun campaign because we're having fun today, guys. That's what we're doing. Campaign objective, conversions, and nothing else. Go down, click next. Next step, website conversion event location. Select pixel. Make sure it's the right pixel. Now you have to input the custom conversion event. So before we stated that we wanted schedule. That's what we wanted, and that's what we are doing. Okay. And then you have all these different things, and here's the audience that you could eventually retarget. Over time, it'll start to build, and then you can target them however you please. You have to love Facebook. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. So we have learned quite a bit in a very short amount of time. So look at you. Now you know how to set up a custom conversion campaign. We set up our pixels, our events, our custom conversions, custom audiences, and then they say Facebook doesn't work. Pathetic. Kind of like my subscriber count.